All right, so I'm pulling, or have already pulled the transmission out of my 1997 Toyota Rav4. It's got the 3s-Fe engine in it, and I'm going to be showing, well, I'll show the tools that I've used. Here's pretty much all the tools I've used. Just like 10 millimeters, 12s, 14s, and 17s is pretty much what all the bolts are. I got two different size ratchets. This is for the more stuck bolts. This is for making things quicker. And sometimes when you can't reach it with a ratchet, I'll take a wrench, a spanner, I don't know, and put it on the bolt and then use the dead blow hammer, and breaks it free pretty well. Here's the transmission right here. I've cleaned up the bell housing. I think that's what it's called. And so there's a lot of bolts to get to from the underside. You'll have to get this engine mount right here. I just took the bolt out. You'll have to get this one right here, which is underneath the differential, and this one above the differential. There's a piece that slots between this and the vacuum four-wheel drive modulator. And then there's going to be another bracket up here that takes these two bolts. It's hard to get to. I thought I had the transmission off and I was fighting it, and these two bolts were still connected. There's a bracket that goes right here. That's the this is the linkage bracket that connects to the shifter cables. Shifter cable bracket, I don't know, whatever. This one right here is the other motor mount bracket. You got to take this bolt, no. You have to take this one, and this one off, and then one from this side to reach this bracket. I just took this one off after I got it out. Unnecessary, you can leave it. And then when it's in the engine bay, it's really hard. You got to reach under a lot of electrical to reach this bolt. And this bolt's easy enough. This bolt's easy enough. This one's very easy. And then this bolt right here. And one of my biggest struggles was getting the drive shaft out for the rear four-wheel drive. And then instead of trying to disconnect the vacuum modulator, the four-wheel drive modulator, I decided to disconnect all the vacuum lines. I made sure to take pictures of where they all linked up to before I did that, and then I just dropped them down. There's one little bracket you'll have to take out, and there's a sensor you will have to unplug. It's on right here. You'll also have to unplug this sensor, very hard to get to. And then it was just a bunch of fighting to get it out. Got my new clutch right here. Well, my new clutch, whatever. Here's the old clutch. Super burnout. You can see the rivets were actually scraping. I forget what this is called, but clutch piece. The old flywheel. You'll have to save the bolts from the flywheel and the old clutch housing. That's it, clutch housing. And reuse them on the new pieces. I got my new clutch, my clutch kit, all that good stuff. I had to take off the exhaust pipe. I had to take out the subframe. Pretty much so I don't lose the bolts, I thread them all back into where they went once I've got them out. You can see these here. So these two bolts go against the transmission. That's where the, well, there's two that connect to the vacuum modulator right up here. And then one more right here. and this one's easy enough to get to. And you can see this is where one of those sensors was. This is where the other one was. Here we have the it all taken off. You need to support the engine. As you can see, it's free to wiggle around. I'm using my hoist. And we have this motor mount right here. Here's that bolt I was talking about a minute ago. A lot of stuff you have to disconnect, but there's the linkage cables. I just tucked them up out of the way. You have to drain the fluid out of it, out of the transmission. Here's the cables that go to the cooler. Here's the, I think it's the slave cylinder. I don't know. This is what presses against the fork when you press the pedal, the clutch pedal. Go ahead and try and put this whole thing back together. You'll see these right here connect to this piece of the subframe. You have to take out the whole subframe. I was trying to take out only this bracket right here. It was fighting me terribly. I could not get this motor mount up and out without pulling the whole subframe off. You pull off I think it's a sway bar. You got your rack and pinion, I think. It's what connects to the steering wheel. I had to pull these bolts. They were some of the hardest ones to get out. A very tight space. And once I was able to drop these, I was able to drop the whole subframe because I got these three out here. And these three out here. Had to disconnect, I don't know, ball joint or whatever, lower ball joint, call it that, why not? You'll have to disconnect this bracket right here from the transmission. It kind of swings up and then you retighten it. And that's where I'm at so far. It's taken a while, but I mean, all things considered, you don't need too many dang tools. You could get a ratchet set with just these, and you could pretty much take the whole car apart.